On the 10th of November 2008, Business Link delivered its first annual Marketing the Art of conference at the Sage Gateshead. The following is one of 6 workshops that were recorded on the day in front of a live audience. Business Link is proud to present Ian Morford delivering how to achieve an effective marketing mix.
My name is Ian Morford. I'm a marketing consultant, freelance marketing consultant. I have been for about 15 years. So what we're basically going to have a look at today is the marketing mix. And when we sort of think about the marketing mix, many of you will probably have come across the mix before, whether just in a name or whether it's actually doing stuff with it. But I thought first we should have a think about where does it sit? What actually is the marketing mix? And it's fundamentally the tactics, it's the day-to-day stuff. This is actually how, the things that we need to do on a day-to-day basis as marketeers. And it falls out from, whatever it is that the organisation is doing. So every organisation should have some objectives of what it's actually trying to achieve. These are measurable things. We want to be the biggest, the best, the worst, whatever it happens to be, right? But we've got an objective as to what we want to be as an organisation. And then out of the business's objectives, if you like, different departments, functions within the business will have their own. The marketing function will have its own objectives. Again, it's what we're trying to achieve. It's the measurable stuff. And the strategy is the approach. How are we actually going to achieve these objectives? Right? So lots of hows and things. And then it's the tactics, the day-to-day stuff, the marketing mix. This is putting the flesh on the bones. This is what we're actually going to do as marketeers in order to help our organisation achieve whatever it is that it wants to achieve. So that, if you like, is where the mix sits within an organisation. So it's the day-to-day stuff. Historically, the marketing mix was known as the 4 Ps: product, price, promotion and place. In the past few years, academics decide that somebody needs to write a paper, so they sort of added these other 3: people, process, physical evidence. And we're going to go through a number of these things. So we'll spend more time on product than anything else because that's probably the most appropriate. If you get into the ultimate realms of academia, they'll take this list on forever, but they're all, as far as I'm concerned, subsets of one thing or another. So if we think about the mix, these are things that we can control. So we've got a statement on the bottom there. Good academics have firm attempts to generate a positive response to target market by blending these 4 marketing mix variables in an optimal manner. There's a couple of things that tells us. One is that they're variables, right? We can vary them, right? We can change things, right? And we're going to need to change things because everything is guided around what sits in the middle, the target market, our customer. And whatever it is that we're doing has got to be focused on, trying to provide our target customer with whatever it is that, he, she, they actually want. And when we sort of go back and we think about, any business, when any business starts, there's a reason for it starting. Right? Somebody's had an idea, the light bulb came on. Somebody's actually had an idea and they thought, right, I know somebody that would buy this, X, whatever X happens to be. And they're able to actually sell X because they've actually determined that X actually is in the market. They actually want to buy something. They have a need or a want that needs to be satisfied. And now a new fledgling company has the solution to this problem. The problem for a lot of organisations is that over time, they actually forget. They forget why they actually started. They forget what actually happened to that original customer, that original need. And unfortunately in life, people's requirements change. And the biggest problem that most companies face is that they don't change when their customers do. And as a consequence, we've got to be thinking about the marketing mix as being a set of variables. We need to vary them as time goes on. We might need to change the product, change the place that we actually engage with the customer, change our pricing structure, whatever it is. So it's a lot of it comes down to, I'll say, who is our customer and what are we trying to do? And for most organisations, the key thing that they're trying to do is make some money. Right? And it's not just about covering our costs, it's about actually trying to make a profit. And once we start to find that the bits in the mix aren't actually making a profit, then something's wrong. And one of the other things that we also need to remember that sits at the back of this is research. Because without the knowledge, without the research of what it is that people want, we don't have the knowledge that we need to change whatever attributes need to be changed in order to make life work again. So the core of every business, right, is its customer. And so we need to think about, who that is. Now, as a matter of interest, does every company have a product? Anybody think that they don't have a product in what they do?
We have a service.
Okay, what do you do?
A training provider.
You're a training provider. Okay. So, do you not believe that you have a product at all?
I don't know, I'm waiting for you to tell me.
Okay, all right. Does our friend here have a product?
Yes.
Okay, what's his product?
The training service that you provide. You're providing a training service, is that right?
Individual courses, yeah.
Okay. Why do people buy things from you? I'm assuming that they do, right? So that's all right. So,
I like my job, they don't.
yeah.
Because they have a need.
Okay. And what's the need?
They need skilled people.
Okay. So the need is skills. Okay. Right.
Well, they have to satisfy legislation or many other things, actually.
Right. Okay. All right. Anybody else work in a service-related organisation? I'll leave you out for a minute, Robert.
We're a PR company, so we are providing service.
Okay. Do you not have a product?
Yeah, you could break it down to what we actually do. Product would be, I suppose, press releases that we send out.
Okay. That's really more of a distribution channel than an actual product. What do you do?
I work for a company called Space Group, so we're quite diverse. We primarily do architectural design, but we also do some facilities management and some construction management, so I would suggest that our product are the various services that we offer.
Okay. All right. One of the things that nearly every service organisation has, service-based organisation, is the product that they actually have is knowledge. Right? You're actually providing knowledge. Right? People are actually buying knowledge from you. Right? You are, because if you're talking about skills, so you're talking about training, whatever it is, and why does somebody come? Because they come because you've got something they don't have. Right? You've got a level of knowledge or skill set, which is knowledge, which they actually don't have. That's the only reason why they buy from you. Right? Because if they have the same as you, they wouldn't come to you. I mean, similarly with your PR, again, it's a knowledge-based thing. It's because say this in the right way, where to go, right? How to go there, right? And what sort of works in different mediums. If you come on to things like classical things like accountants, solicitors, it's all about knowledge. There's a lot of misconception with service-based organisations that they provide a service that they don't. To all intents and purposes, they have something that somebody wants to buy, right? And to all intents and purposes, it will be knowledge. If you take solicitors, why does anybody go to a solicitor? Why do we buy anything from a solicitor? Now, there are certain elements that a solicitor does, and the same applies with accountants, which are regulatory, right? And so there is a legal requirement that you have to have this person to do that. But what could we go to a solicitor for?
Advice.
On what?
Credit control, debt collection.
Okay, all right. Do you need to go to a solicitor for those things?
No.
Okay. There's no legal requirement for you. There's no regulatory
But they have the
requirement.
knowledge and expertise that I...
Potentially, they'd like to think so. Okay, all right. You look at things like wills, conveyancing, all these things you could actually do yourself. Most dispute situations, the information is out there, right? It's in books on shelves, right? And if you've got the time and the inclination, you can actually go and find the answer to the problem, right, yourself. You don't actually have to go to a solicitor. The reason why you do go to a solicitor is because the solicitor can go, right, it's that bookshelf, right, it's that book there, it's page 92, it's chapter 3, it's whatever. And it's going to take them 5 minutes, as opposed to you maybe taking 3 months to find that bit of information. So it's their knowledge of where that information exists, which is why you'll actually go there. You don't have to go. I mean, there was, apart from the guy last week who was caught out being the barrister that wasn't, if anyone saw that one. Because he'd actually overstepped the mark. He moved into an area where there was regulation and he didn't meet that regulatory environment because he didn't have the qualifications to do it. But for a lot of